Hello YouTube, this is Ken Apocalypse, and today I'm going to just discuss a couple odds and ends. As you can see, I'm just playing a little bit of Deadpool on this Vizio TV. But I wanted to address a couple things. It don't really bother me, but it bothers some of you that watch my videos. The fact that I got rid of my OLED. And I did in fact get rid of the OLED, and everybody since then has been like, why'd you get rid of the OLED? That's stupid to go from an OLED down to a Vizio, or an OLED down to any kind of TV. If you need an OLED. And I'm like, that's true. I do miss the OLED, I'm not going to lie. I miss the deep blacks, I miss the rich colors, but I wanted to upgrade. Like I said before, I wanted to go from a 55 to a 65 inch, and it just, I couldn't do it with the budget that I'm on for a TV. I can't afford to go spend $2,400, $3,000 for a 65 inch. And now they got one that's what was that thing called, a 6ED, and it was 36 something at Best Buy. So I mean, yeah, when I look at TVs, I want a good picture for a good price. And I know that I'm not going to get as good as an OLED unless, of course, I go with Sony, which has their own OLED. Which, by the way, a lot of people don't know this, but Sony and Philips OLED TVs are actually LG panels. They're LG OLED panels with Sony or Philips guts in them. So LG, I guess, put up a little contract with them so they can use their OLED panels, but they have to use their own technology to run the picture and everything. So I mean, I've seen the OLED Sony, which is, I believe it's the new 940s, the 900 or the 940s, and it looks really good. And also there's the Philips, which I have not looked at the Philips yet. I don't know what the model number is, but it's actually it actually looks pretty decent too. But like I said, it's LG panels. So with that being said, I mean, I do miss an OLED, but sacrificing a little bit of price, I mean a little bit of quality for a lot of price, that's the route I'm going, because I want a bigger TV, but yet I want a lot of picture for my buck. And the Vizio P series is actually a really good TV. The P series and the M series, believe it or not. Of course, the P series is going to be up there in quality a little bit more. It's their top of the line. And then the M series, of course, is a little bit lower line, a couple less features, but the picture is still great. It still uses that deep black engine with that IPS panel. So I mean, you can't ask for a better non-OLED picture. Now, that being said, I'm going to catch a crap storm for this one too, but I've been also looking at a TCL P series. Yes, TCL, the Creative Life, and it actually looks really good too. And when I say really good, I mean the nits. If anybody does the research, and I do my research, and I get online and I look at this and I look at that, and sometimes I get the wrong information, and sometimes I just say things off the top of my head that I really, I assumed, but I wasn't sure. And a lot of you call me out on it, and I really appreciate it, because when you call me out on something that I've said, that's a learning experience for me, because now I know certain things. And just like I was talking too fast and I said color grommet. I said grommet, and it's actually gamut, G-A-M-U-T. Well, I knew this. I knew the definition of the word. I knew that it was the range of colors, the color gamut or gamut, however you want to say it. I know that it's the range of colors I knew that, but I mispronounced it, and somebody called me out on it. I really appreciate it, because if you wouldn't have called me out on it, I'd still be calling it grommet. But anyway, also, I like your feedback. I like the comments that people leave. Constructive criticism is always welcome. So if you think you're going to offend me, you're not. I take things with a grain of salt. So if you say that, you know, I didn't know something, yeah, I'm going to research it, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and I'll admit to it, and I'll usually comment back. But excuse me. But anyway, let's talk about the TCL P series. And if you do your research on it, the LG B6P, which is the one I had, it was actually only 700 nits during HDR. And a lot of people know that nits is your unit of your unit of light that your panel can produce. Well, thing about it is, you know, if you have a low end, say you have a low end Samsung, and it only has 400 nits, and you try to watch an HDR movie, as soon as that HDR kicks on, boom, it's going to dim it out like you got sunglasses on. And nobody wants that. Everybody wants a good, colorful picture. Well, the B6P OLED I had actually had a 700 nits, which is, you know, above average, and it actually still looks good. Now, the new ones that are coming out, they're well above 1,000 nits. I think Samsung's QLEDs are actually over 11 or 1,200 nits, but they don't have Dolby Vision. And, you know, that's a big perk for me right now. Like I said in videos before, and I'll stand by it again, Dolby Vision is the superior of the HDR format. Of course, you have the HDR10, and now it's HDR10 Plus on the higher end TVs. And then you have Dolby Vision, which is, like I said, the superior of the two that I believe. I mean, I've seen both pictures, and I believe Dolby Vision has better color. Believe it or not much lag for some reason. Like I streamed a movie, I'm sorry, and in HDR10, and it seemed to jump around a bit. But then I watched the same movie on a different TV in Dolby Vision, and there were no jumps or anything. So I don't know if it's. I know that Dolby Vision does measures frame by frame, so it can give you the best picture quality. And HDR10 just, you know, whatever you see at the beginning, that's what you got throughout the whole movie. HDR10 Plus, it's supposed to read metadata like Dolby Vision, but it just don't. It can't produce the amount of colors that Dolby Vision can, and the amount of actual clarity that Dolby Vision can. But anyway, that being said, looking at that TCL P series, and you know, the OLED, of course, you know, it's 700 nits. Well, the TCL P series is also 700 nits, which is unheard of for an IPS panel, and not an OLED panel. So when you actually watch a movie in Dolby Vision or HDR10, especially HDR10, say you got an Xbox One S and you're watching a 4K movie, it doesn't put that tint over it like you got sunglasses on. And of course, Dolby Vision is, you know, it doesn't do that anyway, but it looks really good with it too. And the picture is the picture is bright and vibrant, and just it's an unbelievable picture. It really is. And I mean, I was actually shocked that a lower end TV, the TCL P series, actually produced that kind of light and that kind of color. It was really surprising, but it is a pleasant surprise. And now I'm looking at that also, because the P series Vizio that I was looking at, you know, it's $998 and for a 55 inch, And then the other one that I was looking at was, I'm mistaken. The 55 inch was $998, and the one I was looking at, the actual 65 inch Vizio P series, was around 12 something, which is actually really cheap for a 65 inch with that good of a picture. But the TCL, now this is going to be a shocker to a lot of people. The TCL has just as good as a picture and just as high of nits, and the TV looks, I mean, it looks outstanding. And it's only, the 55 inch is only $599. I swear to God. Anyway, so it's a really good TV. Also, I'm leaving it up between those two TVs, the Vizio P series and the TCL P series. Both of them are very comparable to each other. And you know, I'm going to catch a lot of flack for saying it's great and everything, but the nits are so high, which makes it close to an OLED. And you're right. I know what you're thinking. You're like, well, it's not an OLED. No, it's not an OLED, but it's also $2,000 cheaper. So I mean, I just wanted to make a short video and throw that out. I haven't decided on the Vizio P series or the TCL yet, and the TV you're actually watching is a Vizio, but it's only a 1080p and it's still sharp. So Vizio has a lot going for them, believe it or not. Like I said, I appreciate your criticism. I appreciate your comments. But this is going to do it for the video. I appreciate all your comments that everybody leaves. I try to respond to them as much as I can. So if you have comments, please leave them. Subscribe to my channel and share my videos, and I'll have more for you next time.